I wasn't very informed on what exactly HPC was. I had been exposed to the Anvil supercomputer, but it was only the front end. I didn't do anything. Something that I mentioned in my first interview, I didn't do anything related to the back end. So I think I learned that HPC isn't only about supercomputers, that it's a very broad field. It's also about what those supercomputers can do for users, what they can provide, the computing power that they can provide for scientific applications and for advancing and leveraging the scientific research. So I learned that it's very broad and that it can apply to a lot of fields.
I learned a lot. I learned how to use a lot of tools. I learned a lot about a lot of systems, some of the systems that are here, some systems that are just part of computing in general. Experience with the command line, something that I didn't have, more learning about operating systems, just general computer stuff. On top of that, I learned a lot about deployments, how to do them correctly, connections, networking. I learned more in probably the first week than a month of just school. I think in my entire life, I don't think I've ever learned as much as I did, especially in the first week, not to mention the whole summer.
I learned a lot of technical knowledge, and apart from that, I learned how to work in a team properly. I think that was a really big asset for me. And yeah, I think overall I had a good experience.
I learned a lot about high performance computing. I learned a lot about Slurm, which is the resource manager that Anvil uses. I learned a lot about Azure, probably not enough, but I knew a lot about it, learned a lot about it.
I've learned a much better base foundation of system architecture and just, I guess, using Linux and Unix command line. That was like a big thing, but I also got a lot of hands-on experience with SQL querying. Thanks to this job, actually, this internship, I got a certificate in SQL from Kaggle, so that was pretty cool. And there was a lot of things that I was just kind of proud of, learning from this place, and picked up a new framework for designing a website. It was my first ever dashboard that I've made.
It was very eye-opening to the HPC fields. If it's okay if you don't know what HPC is at the moment, or as you're applying to it, you'll eventually learn it. They'll eventually get to like it and get a career out of it as they want to do.